But
Welcome, my dear ladies. Welcome. I'm Tanja from discoveryourfemininepower.com, and I teach women how to get into crypto and make money the feminine way through cooperation and connections. So this is another interview with an amazing woman. And it's best if you save the playlist, and then you can binge watch the other videos, the other interviews with other women that I have made so far. You are going to like them. Also, more importantly, join my Telegram group. The link will be below. I'm on Telegram every day, and I give you more information about feminine topics, money, self-love, and of course, about crypto. Be my guest there. Okay, so today we have a friend and amazing tarot reader here. Her name is Bree. She's the best tarot reader I've had so far. Say hello.
hi there, how's it going?
Good. Hi, Bree. So Bree and I, we met in Bansko in Bulgaria because we lived there for a while at the same time. And we both left and moved on. And that's what we're going to speak about today. So what happens when you're moving on? So Bree left physically, and she also left her work. She's changing something, and she's going to tell us everything about it. So Bree has done online working and the digital nomad thing for 5 years, and now she's changing something. So Bree, let us know what happened, and do you think it was time to move on?
Yes. So yes, as Tanja said, I do tarot, I do astrology, I do energy healing, and I've been self-employed for 5 years. And it's been a beautiful, incredible journey, not just in helping other people, but in actually really decoding who I am and really healing myself in really huge ways through healing other people. So I could definitely easily say that I would not be the same person if I had not taken that path. I am wiser, better, more loving, more compassionate, richer inside and out. So it was an incredible journey. And not only that, about a year into my journey, I realized I was working from home, and I realized that I could actually travel while I was working because I didn't have any time constraints with the way that my business is set up. Once that became a realization, started traveling, went from Scotland to Ireland, traveled all the way around Ireland, and then went to Bulgaria. So that's kind of where I'm heading to at this point in particular. So Bulgaria, Bansko, Bulgaria is an absolutely incredible place with an incredible community. It's affordable. It is beautiful. It is filled with, the richness of the Bulgarian culture. And also you are surrounded with other people, other entrepreneurs that are super focused, active, happy. I mean, you don't get this everywhere you go and every dynasty, you know what I mean? Like, it's a really special place. And that's where me and Tanja met, actually, right? So that's how we connected. And kind of like the focus we were thinking of for this video today was really kind of like, as she said, I've been self-employed for 5 years, and it's kind of like, when do you know when to move on from something, from somewhere physical like Bansko, which I could have stayed in if I wanted to something like my business that is like my child, my baby, that like, how do you know when it's time to kind of cut that umbilical cord and just kind of move on with your life? And I really say that, like, part of being feminine is knowing when to receive and knowing when to relax, knowing when to detach, knowing when to let go. It's definitely a hard process to know sometimes because we get so deeply emotionally attached to things. But I think really the highlight is like, when something's not making you happy anymore and you start realizing that you're suffering from burnout, even if the thing in front of you is so amazing, it's so incredible. I love my business and I love the places that I've traveled, but I did start to experience some burnout, you know what I mean? And to me, that's just the soul. It's not the people, it's not the place, it's not the business. It's my soul that is actually saying like, hey, Bree, we have bigger plans for you. You're ready for the next stage. You've outgrown this mentalities maybe that has drawn in these circumstances. And now it's time for something new. And it shouldn't matter what the world thinks of what you're creating or coming up with next, or how your life looks, so to speak. But from this very healed place, I know my life is going really good places. And it's really exciting. So I'm on a very exciting precipice right now of total life change. But when one of the things that I've realized in my life is the most important for me is travel. And so now I get to take all my confidence, all my skills, and actually apply it to a different industry, which is the travel industry. So that's kind of where I'm going into next. And I have some really exciting opportunities in front of me. So that's good. Right?
Wow.
What else should
Yeah.
we add to that one, Goddess?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, you gave us already a lot of input, a lot of directions. I could take the talk from here. I liked how you related to this feminine essence, that when you need to know when to receive and when to give. It's very beautiful how you put that. Yeah, it's very true. A lot of women today are only giving, or doing. Kind of, we can kind of relate to that. Doing, instead of saying, hey,
Yeah.
stop. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Let's just stop and look around. What is around me? We don't take the time to do this anymore. It can be a simple thing.
Mm-hmm.
Just take a
Yeah.
walk and look
We're
at
innate receivers. Yeah.
beavers, but
Many
we
people think
are.
that, like, if we don't actively put out energy, then something won't happen. But to be honest, my whole business came to me on accident. My whole travel journey, those were my two biggest dreams earlier in my life. I said, Bree, I want to be an energetic healer, a tarot reader, all this stuff. I went through this horrendous breakup and on accident started my business, quit my job within 1 month. That was a receiving thing. I put no money down, took no loans out, put no real activity out. And my dream came full circle and manifestation. You know what I mean? Again, happened about a year later. My other biggest dream was that I wanted to travel the world. And so we start to intellectualize, like, how can I get it? How can I get it?
Yeah,
But your
yeah.
real dreams, your true dreams, you can just sit back and just wait and relax, because they will come if you let them,
Of course, yes, of course. That's so true. Yeah. It was kind of the same for me. But yeah, as you said, we are here to receive, and whatever is meant to come, it will come. And once we stop and we drop, I think there's a lot of fear behind it, just to let go as a woman, or probably as a man as well, but we're speaking of women here.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much fear to say, just to let go and okay, accept that I'm just going to do nothing for 3 months now and see what's happening. And these are the moments where this kind of life-changing things are going to come to us.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
that's how it's
Absolutely.
done as a woman. That's the feminine essence, as I understand it. This is how we create.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And just as you say that, I thought of an example in my head. It would kind of be like if us as a women, if our desire was a seed, and we try to plant that seed in a garden that is already completely full and congested with a whole bunch of other dreams and ideas and force and everything. It will, if we try to make room for our seed, the seed will get strangled. Okay. So space is very important for the feminine to allow our dreams to come forward. But if we plant our seed in a thing that has space, then the dream can flourish. So as women and feminine, we do need space in order for things to come through. So
Exactly, yes. I like how you use this metaphor with the seed, as I have also done on my intro
metaphors.
video on my YouTube channel. But this is the way it is. Women are here to receive by expansion. We expand. We are more the resting and expansive energy, and the man is going forward. But yeah, it's very,
Mm-hmm.
very beautiful how you said it. I can think of my garden. Yeah, and as you
Mm-hmm.
said, if there's the garden is already full, there's no space for a new seed. So first,
Yeah.
there has to be space. So that's why actually
Mm-hmm.
I do like this technique of cleaning out my space, cleaning out all the boxes, all the wardrobes, the handbag, and then boom, something is coming.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love when I find space, and this world will really try to talk you out of space a lot of times. Like sometimes when I take space for myself, even if it's like a week, a month, 3 months, I'll be taking some space for myself, just pulling back. And even some of my dearest friends with the best of intentions will be like, so like, what are you doing, Bree? What are you doing with your time? Like, oh, you didn't really do anything yesterday? Like, what are you doing or something, And I'm just like, I'm making space, and that's really important. And I feel very confident in my knowingness when it is time to push and when it is time to pull back and relax. And a lot of the world is not comfortable with that. And oftentimes people try to talk me out of me creating space for myself. And I take no offense. I know that they really love me, but you have to have that inner confidence and that inner knowing and being like, no, I know that my soul requires space. And if I don't give space, then new, amazing, epic opportunities will not be able to take root. You know what I mean?
Yes, that's so nice that you're talking about this. Actually, you're right. And I can confirm that Brie does that sometimes out of the blue. And come to think of it,
Sorry.
yeah, it was very good. But how do you, my next question is how do you feel this? If we want to give the listener some kind of manual, if they have never done that before, how can you feel that it's time to take space and just to say, no, I'm not going anywhere now, or I'm taking my time
It's such an interesting question, because to be honest, it's such an internal guidance system thing for me now. It's not something that I consciously think of, nor something that I have a conscious process too. I think the way that I understood the need for space was because I work in the psychic realm. And in order to start channeling energy for someone else, I need to make space for them in my mind.
off.
And also, in meditation, of course, we make space. That's kind of really what we're doing. We're just allowing everything to fall away and making space. And so it just occurred to me farther down in the journey, that I was like, oh, Bree, like, it's not just so much about, oh, Bree, you need space. It's the understanding that things can only move in an ebb and flow. Things can't always flow. You know what I mean? If it always flows, everything would flood. You know what I mean? Or things like that. Like there has to be a push and pull. And so I feel like in our culture, everyone's going to try and get you to make a schedule and fill in every single little space. But I feel that when I maybe a manual or a process that maybe might suggest mindfulness, and maybe start with just 5 minutes a day, whether it just be once a day or a couple times, and start getting your mind used to creating that space and being like, okay, so I'm gonna detach for 5 minutes, just 5 minutes. Don't make it crazy. Don't be like 10 minutes, 30 minutes, just 5 minutes. It's 3 minutes, it's fine. Connect with your breath and make that space, and your body will start actually telling you, get used to that feeling, and it will start just naturally cueing you in and being like, hey, I need space. Hey, I need space. I need some space. And like, well, how long? Oh. Okay, are we still recording?
Yes, that's the internet. Okay, so
Okay.
the downside of living in Bulgaria is that sometimes the internet is a bit wobbly, and that can happen.
Yes, yes, yes.
The recording continues.
Okay, cool. No problem. What was the last thing you heard me say?
So you were talking about not doing schedules and never having some time on your own, and
Yeah,
how important that is to create the
yeah.
space for yourself. And But I think it's kind of a feeling also. We need to learn how to feel inside and just do it.
Yeah, I think then it cut me off before I said, then I think, tell me if I'm wrong, that if we were going to look at a process that we wanted to follow, like, okay, well, how do I know, Bree? How do I start feeling that feeling and knowing what that is? And I would say taking 5 minutes a day for a meditation, not 10 minutes, not 20 minutes, not 30 minutes, even 3 to 5 minutes, and starting to get your brain used to creating even just a small amount of space and seeing what actually happens in your life, how many good things, how many things start opening up, how your attitude starts to increase, your mindfulness starts to increase. And when you realize that you can start playing with those times and these smaller time slots, and you start being like, well, what if I take like a whole half an hour to myself? What if I take a whole day to myself? You know, your intuition will start really kicking in and being like, you know what, today I need time for myself. You know what I mean? And there's just no shame in that. But the world is gonna try and shame you. They're gonna try and, like, I like to call it, like, time shame you. And just, you need to disconnect from that one immediately about how you're spending your time, because no one can actually tell you how to spend your time. You have to get comfortable being like, this is how I want. So time is of the essence, you know, or I guess that's what they would tell you, is time is of the essence, but time is more valuable than money. It's more valuable than anything else in the world. So make sure and spend it well, you know.
Definitely. I was going to say time is more valuable than money, even though I teach crypto and I'm into the crypto space, because actually what you're buying with this money is time. You're buying back time. If you have loads of money, you're buying back time. Most, not always, but you're buying back time to make your life easier. But to get back to what you said, yeah, I think it's beautiful how you explained it. Meditation is always a good thing to start everything, anything. Just 5 minutes are going to change our life.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
5 minutes can definitely change your life, for sure.
Oh yeah, and
Beyond all shadow of all doubt.
and it's so funny that on the earth we think that time is linear, but it's an illusion.
Goes all different kinds of ways. It goes,
Yeah,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
illusion, and yeah. Hmm. Yeah, it
Yeah.
depends. So funny. Speaking of this, whenever you tell yourself that I have time for everything today, although you want to get so many things done, it does work out. And
Mm-hmm.
whenever you feel like, oh my God, I have no time and I have to do this
Yeah.
and this, only two things
Mm-hmm.
before the end of the day, and it doesn't work out because we programmed it. It all comes from here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Whatever you think is true is true. So choose your thoughts carefully. If you think you're going to need to work really, really, really hard to make your dreams come true, you're totally correct. If you just kind of sit back, relax, and just be like, all my dreams are coming to me now. And of course, there are going to be some actions that you will need to or to end up taking, but they'll be very aligned. They're not going to, they shouldn't, or usually aren't something that is really exhausting or something that depletes you. You know, we have this whole idea that hard work is hard because we go to these 9 to 5 jobs that actually really deplete us in some way, shape, or form, whether it's not a big enough paycheck for the area we live in, whether it's that we just are not passionate about what we're doing. And so from that place, we've being poor and not passionate or excited about our job. That's why we think that hard work is draining, when really hard work can be a total flow state. And it doesn't need to be hard. It doesn't need to build resentment within you. It doesn't need to be something that you're actually perpetually chasing. You know, it's not something that should take all of your time. Like,
Mhm.
it's just a being. It's a beingness. You know?
Exactly. Yeah. I like that. Yeah. It's true. This hard working is probably comes from our parents who have been struggling a lot due to hardship after the wars. this is still programmed
Yeah.
in mind, parents, grandparents, grandparents, that
Yeah.
you only get stuff by hard work. But actually, if you look at it from a spiritual side, it's
Mm,
not the way it's working. It's, as you said, in the flow, stuff just comes. It doesn't mean that you just lie on the
mhm,
couch the whole time. No, you still take some
mhm,
actions, which you do anyway. But this whole thing with the work, go to a job, run around, this depletes us, and especially women. You can see that the
mhm,
women that have to work hard and run around the whole day, and they're maybe even alone with children, they lose their feminine energy, because the first chakra, which is the stability, the security, and the money, gets doesn't get filled by a man. Then we have to do that. We can totally do that, but we have to do that by depleting the second chakra, which is this movement, this expansion and creation from the womb, right?
mhm. Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
feel that the best way to always stay in alignment is to be authentic. That's the best way that I could really describe to anybody. I would never take jobs that didn't feel in alignment with me, like ever, especially now, for sure. But even in the past, I kind of always really knew this about myself. Like, if you like to have your hair dyed pink or something, and you realize that you can't have pink hair at the job that you've gotten or want or something like that, like, my biggest thing is, like, don't change who you are to try to accommodate a job, because that job isn't going to change to accommodate you. It is going to be a one track, one way street. They're going to expect things of you and they're going to pay you for it. So if you really want to stay for the most part in alignment in your life and healthy and happy and everything, if pink hair is important to you, and it sounds like a small thing, but for some people it's really not, like, it is a huge part of their identity and a part of their expression, their hair, you know do not don't change yourself to get into certain jobs, because the if you are not functioning from a place of authenticity,
yeah,
that foundation will always crumble. It will always crumble every single time. Eventually it will, even if it takes a couple of years, it will crumble, and the whole life and everything around it will crumble too. So always make sure that no matter how small, if something's really important to you, if you're vegan and you're working for a leather company, how long is that going to work out?
yeah,
Because
you're
it's not
right.
authentic to who you really are, and your real
Sure.
morals and values. That shit's going to crumble. And
Exactly.
so
That's very true. Yeah. I
make
have
sure
to.
the companies and things that you work for uphold your personal morals and values and are able to give you back, and you will find yourself much less depleted. That's kind of more information for women than men, because men can push pretty hard, but women, we need to be accepted, and we need to have something to offer to a circle, a community, our workforce. And if you are just changing yourself to try and jump through hoops, you're going to find yourself, no matter how much money you're making, incredibly dissatisfying, and that will come back to bite you. Yeah.
That's true. Very true.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So lucky that we stopped doing that
Yeah.
long time ago. So, and now you're moving on to new dreams. I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you have
Uh,
yeah,
yeah.
did you have
Sorry, go ahead.
fears, second thoughts first? How did you feel?
How did I feel when I was moving on from my business?
Yeah, saying
A full-time
taking
business?
the decision, oh, I don't want to do this full time anymore. I want to do experience something new, because people know you like that,
Yeah.
right? And then when this
Mm-hmm.
stops to exist, now Bree is not the tarot reader anymore. It's just Bree. Like, it's a big change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of people. Oh, gosh, there's a lot of ways to dissect that. I still do my business part-time. So if anyone wants to connect with me, you're more than welcome to hit me up. I'm sure my links will be down below. It's just part-time though. It's not full-time anymore. And it actually took me like a full year and a half to make that decision. I hem and hawed a lot because I really felt like I was letting go of a huge part of my identity. Just as you said, because I've been doing tarot since I was 12 years old. So Bree and tarot wasn't never going to get that far away from each other for the most part. You know, I'm always going to be the person probably putting on some spiritual workshop or giving people decks. That's my favorite thing to do when I find really good friends or things like that. I like to align them with decks because I have a bunch of them in my suitcase. So that's there, but it really did feel like losing a huge part of my identity. And I had to really come full circle and realize that, like, I'm not Bree the tarot reader, I am Bree. And that if I want to or need to change in my life, it is not my job to accommodate other people and their feelings about me and what I should or, you know, could be doing with my life, that I need to put happiness at the forefront. And if I'm not happy, I'm not in alignment. And my biggest thing from everything I've learned in my business is to stay in alignment. And happiness is one of the main indicators of that. So it's not that I wasn't happy with my business or the people in it, because I have some amazing clients. I mean, just like, I have hundreds of friends and I have hundreds of clients. Like, I am a very lucky, like, that I feel like the richest woman in Babylon, to be honest. Like, because even if I, you know, am not like extremely wealthy or something, the vast network that I now have to tap into, the incredible opportunities and the amazing people and the information and codes that they hold as individuals has allowed me to realize that there is nothing in this life that is out of my reach. And once I have kind of got to this point with my business where I had reached the tallest tier or had reached for the highest fruit, the only next thing is to then change and transform and move on. So I actually felt that not only was it important for me to move on full time from my business for myself, but I actually started to think about it a little bit like it might be really important for my customers as well. Because if I'm stuck and stagnant in my certain area of my life, and these people are connected to me in kind of this, not by cords, but in an interesting connected kind of way, that me giving my self permission to move on from something that was meaningful to me actually would simultaneously give them permission to move on from maybe even wounds, people, places, things that also weren't serving them as well. So again, it's an internal thing, but you know, you seeing how my business has changed so many people's lives, it also makes me think that the absence of my business will also change people's lives. And that's what I'm here for, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. You touched on so many things in your answer. So yeah, it's a long time, 1.5 years to take a decision, but okay. As we said, time is expendable, or it's an illusion, and
Yeah.
but I think, yeah, transformation takes some time. It doesn't come overnight. Maybe just the mind has all of a sudden has like this what do you call that, idea or epiphany, but to actually transform into the new, from the cocoon to the butterfly, it takes some time. And I like what you said about transformation, to show, you also show to the outside that, hey, you don't need to do something the whole time, you transform. Because I see so much, I see that often in society, this is expected, to never transform, to always be where you are. You are whatever, bookkeeper, and you will stay there for the rest of your life. We want you to specialize and only be this, but it's totally not who humans are.
Yeah.
Totally not what humans are. We
Exactly.
have, yeah, so many different topics, every one of us, hobbies, dreams, passions.
Absolutely. It's just that for my business, it's not the only layer of me. It's a big part of me. It's quite a layer, to be honest. Like, this is something that I technically fall into mastery level in. To be mastery at something, or to be even considered a master at something, you have to spend at least about 10,000 hours doing it. And actually, if you spend them, I think I've done the math before, don't quote me exactly, but I think it's something like, if you spend 8 hours a day for like 10 years or something, that's about 10,000 hours. So it takes actually a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of energy to become a master at something. And, I've mastered these things. And if at the point at which I've mastered, and I've taken the whole journey, went all the way there, that I want to change and move on and try to master something else, that's my prerogative as a person. I don't need to be carbon copy of Bree, a certain way for everyone else to feel comfortable. I need to feel comfortable. It's my life. So yeah, it's really important to move on sometimes. And some people want to do one thing for their whole life. And you know how you'll know you want to do that? Because you'll never get tired of what you're doing, and you'll keep doing it, and you'll keep loving it, and you'll keep moving forward. But if there's also the kind of person, and I'll just kind of say it like this: about every 5 years, I personally like a career change. It is who I am. It's just something I like. I like to stretch myself in that way. I like to learn new things about myself, and I like to try a lot of new things. So there's some people who want to do things for a really long time, and there's some people that need to switch it up about every 5 years. And if they don't, they start to become really depressed. And
Yeah.
it is not, you don't need to carry this depression to try and serve humanity or their expectations or a paycheck or anything. Like, you need to be ready to pull those roots up and move forward if that's what it's requiring you to do.
Yeah, exactly. There's no matter waiting at the end of your life. You are
Mm-hmm.
who you are. You're exactly who you're supposed to be, and everything is right the way it is, the way you are, or we are. I am, you
Mm-hmm.
are.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see here.
And in the feminine, what I think, well, we are exactly who we're supposed to be, but connecting to what we've been talking earlier, if we try to be what we're not, we're getting very depleted, we're getting very sick.
Mhm.
And this is not the reason why we're here, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think everyone is
You have
here
to think
for a reason.
sometimes too.
Sorry.
Sorry, you have to think sometimes too that actually sometimes women overworking isn't the only thing that's making them sick. Sometimes actually what's making them sick is not working the long hours that they've decided to work, but actually being totally out of alignment with their industry and not passionate about it, because not being, again, in alignment will and authentic with yourself will actually make you super ill. So I know some goddesses, they like to work. They like to work like, it's their prerogative. If they want to work 60 to 80 hours a week, they like it. They like the chase. It fulfills them. Doesn't me, but it fulfills them. And but I noticed that the people that aren't in industries that truly cater to their needs and their soul needs and things like this, then they get sick. It's not always the time spent, you know.
Very true, yes. But that can happen so easily, you get out of school and then you just find any job because you want to pay the bills and move out as quickly as possible. And then it can happen that we never find who we really are, or we don't
Yeah,
have
that sucks.
courage. We either don't know, we can't find out, or we don't realize what's happening.
Yeah.
But usually what brings us forward is like a stumbling block, right? Something
Mm-hmm.
that hit you and then you will transform.
Yeah. 1,000%. Yeah, don't be afraid of the obstacles. Like, don't be afraid of the bad things that happen in life, because there's so many times. In fact, every single time some of the worst things in life have happened to me that were like truly traumatic, something like really amazing happened afterwards. Like, obstacles, mistakes, mishaps, things like this, they're not all what they seem. Don't take them at face value. You know, I have had a time in my life where I lost everything, and I like to always think about it like there's a quote from the Tao Te Ching, where it's like, if you want everything, you need to give everything up. And before I got this business, I lost like everything. And I was in a deep, dark depression, thinking and feeling that I should have had certain things figured out by the time I was about 26, 27, and just feeling like an absolute failure, and really going through a very prolonged depression and everything like that. And you know what? Poof, you know, once I got depressed enough, I really started asking myself some harder questions, and, you know, kind of put a little bit more to the side, some self-pity, and started being like, well, how do I really fucking want to show up then? If this isn't working and I'm not happy and I feel like I failed, then, you know, I realized I had nothing to lose at that point. And that's when I was really willing to gamble really big, not financially, but with my soul, and being like, you know what, I'm just gonna put it all out there. If no one likes it, I've already lost everything anyway, to be honest. Like, you know, if I lose some self-respect, you know, or whatever, some respect along the way or whatever, I already lost it all anyway. And when you're willing to put it all out there and, again, really authentically align, and you're not afraid to lose anything, that's when you're going to end up attracting some really incredible opportunities and circumstances that will come in the format of change. And so you still have to put your foot through that door. Like, that is part of the thing, but it's at the same time, chaotic circumstances can serve you as much as good ones, you know?
Oh, yes, I can definitely write several books about that. Very true, yeah. So funny, the
Yeah.
story of my back just came into my brain. And usually on these interviews, I don't say a lot about myself, but I have a perfect example. Yeah, very
Mm-hmm.
interesting. So I moved to Crete in 2015, and the universe was telling me to rest and receive in the form of back problems, disc prolapses. And I couldn't listen. I would do the minimum. I would do what was necessary and exercise and all blah, blah, blah. But it just came back, right? And in 2019 hit me so hard, I was operated and I had to lie down and say, okay, Tanya, it's not working. And I'm so grateful now for this, because from there I could only move up, and I knew it. I could only move up from there, and it's been a steady rise since 2019. Really, here I am.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
we have to hit really hit rock bottom,
Rock bottom. Yeah.
really hurt, lose everything, lose what was dearest to us, and then we can go back up.
Yeah. It's not the only pathway, but it is one of the pathways. So if shit's, you know, going to hell in your life right now, like in a handbasket, just be like, you know what? Maybe the universe is getting me out of here, and not that I am making a mistake, not that I'm a bad person, not that I have some karma or something like that. But honestly, pain is a very direct route out
Oh yeah.
of the maze of bullshit. Yeah,
Yeah.
like, honestly.
Yeah, and the biggest challenge will bring you the biggest and the best, most important asset in your life, that what you're gonna grow most in, I think. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. 1,000%, you know. But you know, as far as like, I don't know, like anyone watching this and stuff, what do you feel like is something you want to bring up for anyone else watching this right now from a feminine power from our business? Like, because me and you both have our own businesses. We're both really comfortable receiving, you know, just like receiving our life and letting it come. Like, what are some wisdoms that we should impart upon the goddesses?
Well, firstly, yeah, receiving is pretty damn hard at first when we are so masculine. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it is. And it's okay to start to just notice like, oh man, I've been turned into a guy and now I want to switch. And it's okay to give yourself time. Just go slowly, slowly, and just one step at a time, because all our life we've been trained to do one thing, and then all of a sudden want to change. It takes a lot of momentum to change it, and do one
Mm-hmm.
step at a time, one step at a time, to be more in the receiving more and start to explore. I think that's a good, what just came to my mind.
Yeah.
And not to be afraid
Um,
of a silence in an interview as well.
right, for
Because,
sure.
as we said, we are the resting, expanding energies in this realm.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
What else can you think of?
I would say um happiness isn't a destination, it's a lifestyle. I think is something that most women don't get and remember. It's like a lot of women are waiting to receive like their happily ever after. And that heavily ever after seems to be heavily tied to the idea of a family. We won't even say a man per se, but even though that was a bit more of the older version, but having a family, having a partner, and things like that. And I just like really, because I've actually achieved a lot in my life, I can honestly tell you that achieving something will not win you the prize. It will not force you to be happy. In fact, the farther, this is the bullshit part, okay? The more things you accomplish in life, and the more you think that those accomplishments are going to get you something, you will end up in a deep depression again later on, when you finally realize that how hard you've worked, how much energy you've put out, and that these things that you've put so much time, blood, sweat, tears into will never win you the happiness, and that you have to actually start going inside and choosing to be happy on a daily basis, not putting things aside and not shoving things down. But happiness is a choice. Let go of complaining, let go of looking for things to fix. Don't try and change people ever, and let everyone be. You'll be happier, honestly. Like changing people, let's say we have a relationship or something, and be like, oh, you really balance each other out, and he makes me like this and I make him like that or something. And it's like, no one can make you do anything. No one can make you be happy. It might seem like at the beginning of a relationship or something, but no one can ever make you be happy. You can't make that person be happy. You have to choose to be happy first and foremost. And I think that that's one of the most important things that I've even learned from life, is like, because with my business, I had achieved a lot, like all the things that I thought I had wanted to achieve in my business. I had retreats. I did so many things in my business that I was like, I am so proud of myself. And then I started realizing that it constantly turned into this on to the next thing. And that I wasn't ever to like sit in my happiness or like my pride of what I achieved. But it was because these outside circumstances weren't ever going to allow me to feel happy inside. Like I had to choose to be like happy inside. So I think that's like the biggest things I've taken from life. Yeah. It's a choice, not a destination. You're never gonna arrive somewhere, even if you like win the lottery and you randomly win like $1 million, or like you would think like, oh, that would make me like so happy though. And it's like, to be honest, no, that could actually make you miserable. There's nothing in life that could force you to be happy against your will. It's a choice. So yeah.
Very true, Bree. I love that you were going into this topic. I came to the same conclusion. It's a choice,
Mm-hmm.
and it's our responsibility as a woman also to be happy. anything from outside, especially man, he cannot make you happy. He can make you a little happier by doing things for you, but at the core, you have
Sure.
to be happy with who you are and what you came here to do for and be already. It's only like that that you can live the life or reach the destination of this life, I think.
Yeah. If you just realize that happiness is a choice and not a destination, so many people will envy you. And it's not like you're trying to like get people to envy you, but if you really want to be like the envy, like I just really want to make a lot of money because I just like I want to be, like keeping up with the Joneses, and like I really want to like, acquire that thing or do that thing. And yeah, I don't even oops, I lost my track there for a second. But oh, how did I say that at the beginning? Damn it. Missed my own point there. No, but
I
it's
think
like
you said
yeah,
you already said
I
it.
think I said it. Yeah, basically.
Mhm.
But
Yeah,
ugh,
I think it's
so
nice.
important.
Yeah, it's nice to close on that topic, maybe. Just choose to be
Mhm.
happy and let go of trying to control everything. That's another thing women often want to do and try to do. You stop trying
Mhm.
to control, just relax and receive. And
Mhm.
I understand that it's really hard. It's really hard in the beginning, especially
Yeah.
if we're talking about relationships also.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, just be happy. I remember that teacher at the Vipassana retreat said that be happy.
Mhm.
It's a choice. Okay, feels like we have come to the end of the interview.
Yes.
Mhm. Yeah, if people want to search for the goddess Bree, where would they go? You are on Facebook, I know.
Yes, I am on Facebook. Goddess Bree, Goddess and Bree. I'm the only one, so it's actually pretty easy to find me. Also Brianna Cadell, but we'll be putting these links in there. And I have Facebook mostly, and Instagram and TikTok as well, things like that. I'm not always super, super, super active these days, but at the same time, if you're looking to get a message through, you can contact me actually really easily. Just send something to my messenger, Facebook or anything like
Yeah.
that, and I'll get it really quickly. So yeah.
We let you transform into your new you, but if somebody wants
Yeah.
to check what you were doing or want to get a reading, I can totally recommend Brie. Really, she's really good.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, and something I do, because like I said, I've kind of made this part-time, but I still do it sometimes. You can always ask me for energy healing, astrology, or tarot. But the main thing I do to keep my business going, stay connected with my peeps and offer, something, is new moon and full moon readings. That does happen. And it's also very accessible in price, and it's very fun. We cover very specific topics and have specific readings. And I actually do energy healings as an add-on as well. So very price point functional, like really good. Usually like between 33 and 66, depending on what the offering is, but it's good stuff.
Good. We're gonna link everything below the video. Sounds good. We love the moon. We're women.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah, I thank you so much for this interview.
Yeah. I love you so much, Tanya.
I love you too. Take care and
Okay.
to catch up at a later point again.
Okay. All right. I love you.
Bye.